Hi, everybody. My name is Emily, and I'm the Membership and Programming Director for the Bethany Fenwick Area Chamber of Commerce, and this is our Membership 101 presentation. A little bit about what you can expect for the next hour. Usually we start with introductions, and then we are going to do a pretty good overview of the chamber, who we are, what we do, staff, board of directors, events, that kind of thing. And then I will touch on member benefits towards the end of the presentation. And if we have time, we usually jump onto the website and talk a little bit about how membership starts with you. So like I said, my name is Emily. I am the Membership and Programming Director, which means I am your point contact for anything and everything membership. I do also organize our monthly networking events. So if you have questions about events, if you're interested, I'm the one who's sending out all those weekly emails and your event invites. But I talk with prospective members, active members. If you want to know anything about marketing opportunities, membership, even sponsorship for signature events, I can just get you in contact with the right person on staff if it isn't me. The best way to contact me is via email because I am out at all of our networking events. So you're welcome to call and we can talk, but there's a good chance that I might not be in the office. So definitely email me if you want to schedule anything or schedule a time to talk. So the Chamber is a 501c6 nonprofit civil servant entity, which means that we operate on membership dues, a little bit different than a standard 501c3 nonprofit. But we do have a mission statement and a board of directors, which I'll go over in a couple slides. So the mission of the Chamber is more than just business promotion. So the mission is to develop and implement destination events, participate in advocacy efforts, and provide opportunities for networking, marketing, and education with the overall goal of improving member success and enhancing the quality of life here in the Quiet Resorts. So there are 6 of us that are on staff, full-time or very consistently. Lauren Weaver, our executive director, has been here for 13 years. She oversees our day-to-day, but then does a lot of the strategic planning, advocacy, state and national level, and just a lot. Started in our events manager position, so that's her background. I am your membership and programming director, which I've already talked about what I do. And then Alyssa, Lauren's sister, is our full-time events manager. So talking about signature events, tourism events, the Fire and Ice Festival, the Ocean to Bay Bike Tour, Arts Festival, those big events, Alyssa is coordinating all the sponsorships, partnerships, permitting, volunteers, registrations, really big picture things, whereas I'm doing your monthly networking planning. Our new marketing and communications manager, who's been here for a few months at this time of recording, is Gabrielle McCormick. She handles most of our digital and print marketing for signature events and for the Chamber brand. So if you want to schedule any promotion, if you're reading our monthly newsletter, that is all Gabby, and we're going to get her plugged in with some more things. She also runs our socials, things like that. So you'll see her at a lot of our events as well. And then Sarah Spencer is our tourism coordinator and administrative assistant, fearlessly leading the front desk and most often first to pick up the phones. She really helps everybody with everything. So you'll often talk to Sarah for membership or for events, or if you visit our information center here in Fenwick, that's the information center that she manages. Last on this list is Barbara. She's also here part-time for customer service, really runs the Fenwick office on Saturdays, and then again, helps out with a little bit of everything all the time. This is our board of directors. Right now I am at the end of 2025. So in the blocks here, you see our executive board. Each of those positions is a 1-year term. And then down below, the other directors, if you don't get into the executive board pipeline, you just serve a 3-year position on that board, just as like a standard director role. So we meet once a month with our board of directors. It's a volunteer-based board, and rather than read everybody's name, which you can see, we try to have representation across different industries and towns in the chamber membership. So come 2026, We will have David Zumsky as board president. Kristen Miller will move into that past president position. And then Allison Shook will move into the president-elect position. And we have a handful of new directors that'll be coming onto the board and will be updated on our website in 2026. We also have a whole committee of chamber ambassadors. So same thing, this is a volunteer-based committee. They really help me and Alyssa with chamber events and signature events. So you'll see a lot of these people out at our events. Some of them have a name tag. They're just extra involved chamber members who really want to lend a hand or show up in the community in a bigger way than just through their membership. Again, this is volunteer-based, and we will have some updates come 2026, but there is a whole webpage on bethany-fenwick.org with all of the ambassadors listed. All right, so getting into the reach and the chamber and the brands are some of these next slides. So yes, we're named the Bethany Fenwick Area Chamber, but we do serve 10 towns here in southeastern Sussex County, not just Bethany Beach down to Fenwick. So we do have Bethany, South Bethany, and Fenwick here along the coast, but we cover everything from Route 1 over to 113, Dagsboro, Frankford, Selbyville, and then all of our fantastic towns in between. So Millville, Ocean View, Clarksville, and Roxana. At the time that we made this presentation, we had about 37,000 annual residents. If you're in the area, you know that number is probably growing. But we can confirm we do have over 800 businesses in the membership, which is a pretty big reach, good value proposition. If you're looking to join the chamber, you're going to meet people from different industries, from different towns. We have a great variety, year-round and seasonal businesses here in this pretty large geographic footprint. You do not need to be physically located in one of these towns to join the chamber. If you're looking to promote your business in the area or support any of our events, you're welcome to reach out and join and show interest and still, attend things in this area. So like I said, we do have a couple of brands. So you're going to see both the Quiet Resorts brand and this chamber brand, Bethany Fenwick Area Chamber, online, in print, on different advertising. And we like to just include this slide here on the 101 to show that it's just the same team. It's just us. We just have two different brands because we have two different audiences for most of the content that we're putting out. So if you see the Quiet Resorts, that is the Chamber's tourism brand. So you'll see with the seagrass in the middle and then the BFACC name underneath. This is what we're going to use when we're trying to promote outside of the area that people come to the Fire and Ice Festival. We're not going to put the chamber logo in Southern Living magazine or AAA when we're talking about, Fire and Ice or the Boardwalk Arts Festival or something like that. We're going to say, come visit the Quiet Resorts. You'll see the chamber specific brand, our business brand, on my networking events. So if it's something put on by the chamber, if we're doing a job fair or something in the local community, that's going to be the chamber brand. But same staff, same board, just two different brands for two different audiences. And then we do now each brand has a website and we have separate social media accounts. So you can follow the Quiet Resorts on Facebook and Instagram, but then you can also, if you want updates on ribbon cuttings and legislative alerts and business-specific resources, we have the Bethany Fenwick Area Chamber Facebook page, at the BFACC on Instagram, and we now have bethany-fenwick.org, which is our chamber website, which is where you would be watching this presentation. TheQuietResorts.com, our tourism website, does focus more on a tourism audience, but there is a lot of crossover as far as the business directory and events calendars between both websites. So the next three slides, we go into the chamber focus. So we've got resources, visibility, and I think advocacy is one of them. So this resources slide is really just to show that our job is to get you connected. If it's not something that we do specifically, we know people who know people. So we will get you in touch with one of many other state or national or local organizations that are business resources. So we work pretty closely with SCORE, the Service Corps of Retired Engineers or Executives. Also engineers is our latest rep with SCORE. And then SBA is the Small Business Alliance, and the SBDC is under the SBA umbrella. The SBDC is the Small Business Development Center. So we do office hours with local reps from the SBDC once a month. If you want to know anything about insurance and finance and, cash flow projections and scale up, or any consulting for your business, you've got questions, we'll get you in touch with the SBDC or come to those office hours. The next two slides are visibility, and we take a good amount of time on these. So a lot of the reasons people will join a chamber or the chamber, ours, is for increased visibility on their website, on their brand, or their representatives. So like I said, we have two websites. The business directory does go to both. So as an active chamber member, you have a listing on our business directories online. This screen grab here is just showing stats from one of the members. I think I had gone to a one of our libraries pages, just showing you some stats on the back end of views and like search result displays that this member directory listing came up in. So without doing anything other than the fact that you've joined and a directory listing is created, over the past 12 months, this business had 543 views on their directory page. So we know we're not really replacing your website. For some small businesses, they do just use, social media or their chamber listing as their landing page. So we can certainly be that for you if you want. But it's great to show, hey, hundreds of times throughout the year, somebody has Googled your business or found your member listings some other way and seen information and seen your brand through your directory listing specifically. We can pull more detailed statistics if you're sharing community events with us, if you are putting up job postings on our website or press releases on our website, or really anything on our websites can be tracked. So your directory views, how many people are linked, how many people looked at your event page for a specific time. This is just a snapshot of one of the page's stats. We really have a lot of ways that you can increase your visibility, specifically business to business and some business to consumer opportunities through marketing opportunities through the chamber. So we are not a marketing agency, but if you want to spread the word on something you're already doing, we can certainly help. So like I mentioned, we have both Facebook and Instagram for the chamber and the Quiet Resorts. We do have paid opportunities if you want to have a dedicated post on our social media. We don't right now just repost or share everybody's content because with 800, businesses in the membership, we try to stay a little bit strategic, but we do try to make all of our marketing opportunities cost effective because most of the membership are small businesses by definition. So right now at the time of filming, this is $25 to do a post on either our chamber Facebook and Instagram or the Quiet Resorts, depending on your audience. We do have a newsletter. I'm going to kind of jump down a couple bullets. A monthly newsletter that goes out at the start of the month as well that you can purchase advertising in. And then we do a weekly email. So the monthly newsletter is like start of the month. It's like a look ahead at the whole month and the previous month. It's got links on like legislative updates. It's got, grant opportunities, photo galleries from our events. It's a really deep dive. So we do sell some advertising in that. And then the weekly email goes out on Mondays, anytime that there's not a newsletter. So you usually get 3 or 4 a month. And that's a much shorter look, obviously, at the next couple weeks ahead. So if you're trying to keep up with what events we have going on, those are two great areas, as well as all of our events being posted on social media. But you can also see business features in that weekly email. It'll be the top block, and it says business feature, and it's a member paid promotion. Ooh. So those are the recurring things that we have going on all the time that you can advertise in, the socials, the newsletter, and the eCurrents. If you would like to purchase an email blast, we send those out on Thursdays and Fridays so that we don't fill up your email inbox too much. And eBlasts, it's $100 per blast if you're a for-profit business. Nonprofits, everything's half off. And we do have a bulk discount right now. So if you schedule 3 or more and get the intent to say, oh, I'm going to send one out once a quarter or every month or every other month, you don't have to have the content ready at scheduling, but if you schedule 3 as a thank you for your repeated use of our email blasts, they're also half off. So you can get 3 email blasts for $150 right now, or you can do 1 for $100. So if you know you're trying to spread the word about something or get it out to the membership, we really recommend trying to just get 3 on the calendar and see how it goes. We can also pull statistics for email blasts. And the email blast pricing is a little bit higher than those other things I mentioned because it is a dedicated email from your business to our mailing list. There's no other chamber information on it. It looks like it's sent from your email out to our contact list. So we have about 1,500 contacts on the list right now, and they are business contacts. So that's a great way to promote if you're looking for volunteers or partners for an event or donations, or you want people to RSVP for a webinar, or you just want to share some good news about what you have going on. We recommend an email blast. That calendar does fill up pretty fast because we only send them out on Thursdays and Fridays. So we do recommend, but we're booking about a month out or 6 weeks out most times. There are obviously some times where there's a little opening and you can squeeze in, but if someone emails me a week or 2 before the event, it's likely that our email blast calendar is full, and I'm going to recommend a different avenue for promotion. So just something to keep in mind. If you want to book any of these promotion pieces or start talking about the options, you just email me and I schedule some of them, and then Gabby, our marketing manager, schedules some of the others. All right, jumping back up to the Discover Guide and maps. So if you can see in the window, we have an annual print guide that comes out every January. In the back of that Discover Guide is a business directory, phone book style. So everyone is automatically listed in the business directory on our websites, like I said, and in this print guide. And we distribute about 50,000 here in local businesses, but then also across the Mid-Atlantic. And we drop ship and do distribution to individual requests when they call in. Also in the Discover Guide, there are advertising opportunities. So ad sales in general for the Discover Guide, it's usually the end of September or October until early November. So we're working on that project in the fall every year. So you'll see in this early fall timeframe to confirm your ad space. And then the ads are due usually the end of November before Thanksgiving so that we can have the book finalized and ready to print in the new year. In our information centers here in Fenwick Island, where I sit most days, and then we do also have another office that's open part-time right now on Main Street in Dagsboro. We have rack cards, pamphlets, flyers, business cards, brochures, branded items, anything from any member business that you want to give out and give away to the public. So the Fenwick Island Information Center is open 6 days a week throughout the year. So we definitely have more visitors here. So if you drop something in Fenwick, we'll take some of it to Dagsboro or vice versa. But the Fenwick Info Center sees about 500 visitors every month in the spring and summer months because we sell state park passes if you need a year-round parking pass for the state parks. We have a ton of people just walking in as visitors using us as their information center. We also give a lot of referrals, and the same way that the collateral in the information center is only for member businesses, our word of mouth and digital referral system is also only for member businesses. So if someone comes in and they want to know what to do on their vacation, or they live here but they're looking for, a new electrician or insurance agency, they're going to see only our members in the lobby. And then they're also, if they talk to one of us, we're only going to refer back to the membership. The last thing on this visibility slide is print media, and this just shows some places that the Chamber and our tourism brand, Quiet Resorts, are advertising. So you'll see our ads for things like the Fire and Ice Festival, the Arts Festival, Ocean Bay Bike Tour in Coastal Living and Southern Living and AAA and Rec News, driving people back to the website, driving people back to each of those event websites. So if you have any like partnership or sponsorship or involvement in one of our events, you're going to be most likely on those sites and people will see you through our advertising in these publications. But it's also just goes to show that like we are using our tourism efforts to promote outside of the area, which then hopefully gets people to visit the area and patronize all of our member businesses. If you want all of that information, and I'll show it at the end of the presentation, we have a promotions catalog that lives on the front page of bethany-fenwick.org. Or, of course, you can email and somebody can send you a copy. Advocacy is the next big thing. We really just like to point out that we have strong relationships with the towns that we serve and those state and county entities. So we like to say we're advocating on behalf of the businesses before they even know it. I go to a lot of town council meetings, sometimes planning and zoning. We lead some economic development groups, and it's really just us trying to work with the towns to achieve their goals, to achieve our goal. We are a non-political chamber, so some other chambers have lobbyists. We do not. So if you see something coming from us that is a legislative alert or something to do with one of our towns or the county council, it's really us spreading the awareness and information that already is out there, like you should know. So a lot of the state organizations, if they're rolling out right now, we've been doing a lot with Delaware Paid Family Medical Leave, Delaware Earns Retirement Savings Program, through the Department of Labor. So they really rely a lot on chambers to help get their own webinars and their own communications out. And we obviously want the business community to be aware if something applies to them, if it is a mandate, or just to know what's going on in general in the towns, in the county, and the state. So that is our advocacy piece. And definitely one of the things people don't think about immediately when they think about like what the chamber is doing, especially behind the scenes. It's like we are there in these meetings on behalf of the local business community. All right, next we get to talk about events, networking events. So this is my domain, ribbon cuttings. If you've been to a ribbon cutting, you've heard me say it's probably the most fun part of my membership job. If you have a grand opening, obviously, or an anniversary, we're really trying to do more with business anniversaries or anything to celebrate, a new service, a new location, an expansion, a renovation. We will come to your business with a big pair of scissors, a bow, and a ribbon, and hopefully a bunch of people to help celebrate. So whether you have a physical location or if you're home-based, we do ribbon cuttings here at our Fenwick office. We can do them in the Dagsboro office as well, or if you're the type of business that's already partnered with somebody else with a brick and mortar, we can go there. But ribbon cuttings are complimentary with your membership and just a really great way to get out and about and meet other members or bring people to your business if you're the one who's hosting. So like I said, we'll provide everything. It goes on our event calendar, it goes on our social media, it goes up on the websites and the newsletters and the e-currents. And then we do send out a press release to our media list after a ribbon cutting with your photo and a little write-up. So it's a really fun commemorative thing to do. And all of what you need to do to schedule a ribbon cutting is just email me and we'll make sure most likely that we don't have something else on the calendar already. So if you did want to do a press release before a ribbon cutting or advertise to the community, not necessarily just the businesses, we highly recommend that you obviously promote to your own audience and do your own socials or your mailing list and your own community. But we can do some business to consumer marketing before the event if you let me know that you're interested in that. and if we have enough notice. So a pre-event press release or advertising to help spread the word to the general public. This slide goes through all of our recurring networking events, and they're also listed at the back of that promotions catalog I mentioned on the website. So if you're in the area, you kind of know that word of mouth and referrals and who you know is very powerful. Small town, so small towns, I'll say plural. So we highly recommend if you have anybody on staff who has the time to pop into these networking events, wear your name tag, bring your business cards, wear branded stuff, and just make those connections with other businesses in the area really goes a long way. So we honestly take a bit of a pause in the summer. July and August, you're not going to see a bunch from us in terms of networking because everyone is too busy to care anyways. So we take a little break. But the rest of these, the big bullets at the top, run monthly. So Business After Hours is our evening networking. That's at a member business, so not one of our chamber offices, usually 4:30 to 6:30. Really fun, open networking, food, drink, meet people. Sometimes we'll have celebrations from a recent tourism event, or it'll be a mixer with another chamber. And you might see 60, 80, 100 people at that Business After Hours event, depending on the month. Membership meetings are in the morning. So a membership meeting is a talk. You'll see it's usually 9 to 10 a.m., depending on the season. And we bring in somebody to speak on something that's important to your business. So at the time of recording this video, we have been doing an emergency preparedness series in the fall of 2025, talking about business resiliency, continuity planning, and cybersecurity. And then we've done marketing seminars in the past, legislative updates, things like that. So morning, it's a breakfast, membership meeting, either at one of the chamber offices or at a member business. And usually there's about 30 people there. They're coming because they're interested in that topic. Membership 101, these are the slides. When we do have them monthly in person. Often somebody is watching this recording because they cannot come in person, and we totally understand. But if you are joining us in person, it's the same presentation basically every single month. I lead them, and we have 5 to 10 people attend in our Fenwick office here at the chamber. And then mentioned very briefly at the beginning of these slides, we did start a 201, which is a deeper dive into your membership login. And we also run that once a month here at the Chamber's Fenwick Island office. You'll also see throughout the calendar year, we do a CPR certification in the spring. That's ahead of our bike tour. It's open to the membership. Sign up if you want to come. We do a couple of job fairs open to the public and at the high schools in our area. We have in the past done some document shredding. So shred event at the chamber, big truck comes out and you can come shred anything you might need shredded. And then what you'll see sometimes, depending, it's like kind of on request, depending on the month and what our schedule looks like, is a lunch and learn. It's like a membership meeting over lunch, but somebody who wants to, spread awareness or information on a specific topic will come in and bring lunch, and we'll do that either here at the chamber or a member business. And then a Connect for Coffee is just the morning networking as like a business after hours, but it's business before hours, where we have coffee somewhere, whether it's at a coffee shop or here at the chamber, and we have it sponsored, or it's just a couple hours in the morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Most times, morning networking. So great ways to come in and meet people, meet other members, see if you might be interested in joining the chamber if you're not already a member, and get connected. So all of our networking events are free to attend. We totally understand when people don't have the time to be coming, but if you do, or if anybody else on staff does, we have a very involved membership, and you get some value from coming and meeting people at these events. All right, we're towards the end. I'm flying through it since we don't have any questions, since nobody else is on this recording, but the member benefits section is the next kind of like bulk of the presentation. And I always start this portion of the slides by saying I am not the expert in many of these programs. And what we do, if you're interested in learning more or getting connected with or entering into any of these benefit programs, is I will get you connected with the business, the member business that runs the benefit specifically. So I can certainly answer any questions. I know enough to be dangerous, but I would get you in touch with Affinity Energy Management for the co-op, or Allen Insurance and Benefits Connection for more information on small group health insurance, for example. One of the reasons, honestly, most people join a chamber or the Bethany Fenwick Area Chamber is to save money, and that goes with our mission to improve business success. So these are our big cost savings initiatives, and then we will talk a little bit about other perks and some other benefits. The electric co-op that I mentioned is if you use Delmarva Power and Light, Affinity Energy Management runs this free benefit for chamber members to join the co-op group and get a lower fixed rate on your Delmarva power bills than the standard tariff supply rate. So they do execute contracts either annually or every 3 years. You can join at any point, and then you are locked in to that contract once you've joined. And they'll do a free evaluation of your current usage and rates to let you know, honestly, if you could save money or what your savings might be. So small businesses, industrial and manufacturing, home-based is a little bit tricky. There are a couple of options for home-based businesses, but it's not a guarantee. So we're really talking like commercial entities, and they're super knowledgeable. So if you ever have questions about your bill, if you have questions on the co-op, obviously, but you want to know what you're looking at and trust the source, to be honest with you, Affinity is great to work with. So if you know you're on Delmarva Power, or if you don't manage the electric for your business, but you know who does, and you just want to learn more, you let me know, and then we get you in touch with Ed and Chad Jackson to talk more about the co-op. This saves some businesses hundreds of dollars a year. It'll cover the cost of your membership. Saves some bigger businesses thousands of dollars a year, which is obviously all good because then they've got more money in their pockets. But it's a really, really big cost-saving initiative. So we highly recommend looking into it if you are on Delmarva Power. The next 2 slides cover health insurance. So through Aetna and Allen Insurance and Benefits Connection, we have small group health insurance savings. So with Aetna and most plans, you're really going to hit your small group savings, quote unquote, with 6 or more full-time employees. And most businesses in our membership do not have 6 or more full-time employees. So the Benefits Connection program it's a whole suite of benefits. So options for health, vision, and dental, but there's also an employee navigator HR portal. They're working on some private plans in response to things like paid family medical leave. But they have, the big takeaway is they have cost-effective health insurance options if you are 1, 2, 3, 4 full-time employees or 5. That would hopefully be similar to something like an Aetna discount, or if you do have 6 or more full-time employees, they have even bigger savings for you. So if you want to learn any more about our small group health insurance options, we would get you in touch with our local rep with Allen Insurance. And then they did also just add Vitable on-demand primary care as another offering. So talking about this suite of benefits options for you in the health, vision, and dental world and HR platform world. This is a mobile app. It's really good. We have some businesses who have seasonal employees or part-time or people who aren't eligible for full benefits. This Vitable primary care is a cost-effective option for employers to offer those workers, and then hopefully attract and retain, a good workforce who has access to some benefits. So any information at all on health insurance savings through Benefits Connection and Allen Insurance, you would let me know, and I can get you in touch with our local rep. We do have other insurance companies in the membership. I know for insurance, a lot of people do like comparisons. So we can definitely recommend some others as well, but this is one of our big cost-saving partners. The next big cost-saving initiative is with Mercantile Processing Inc., MPI. So MPI is local here. Casey Fitzgerald, you'll see at a lot of our events. She's our local rep. The chamber uses MPI. The chamber also uses the electric co-op and health insurance. So again, we can vouch for all of these companies, but MPI has been a member of the chamber. It's probably over 11 or 12 years now, because this slide's a bit dated. But if you do any merchant services, and if you're like, what are merchant services? Point of sale systems. You have a checkout, you do online sales, online registration, if you're taking any money anywhere, or obviously like gift card, loyalty card printing, ATMs, they have some payroll solutions, but any merchant services, you get a credit card processing fee. MPI, if you use them, as your processor, will give you a 10% reimbursement on your merchant service fees once a year in a check. So similar to the electric co-op, Casey or another MPI rep will do a free evaluation of your current processor, and she'll be honest on if your volume and what you're processing would make sense to change to MPI, and if, what that 10% reimbursement, what that rebate could look like for your business once a year. Just as a thank you for using a local business, just as a thank you for being a chamber member, they only offered this benefit to Bethany Fenwick area chamber members. So if you want to learn more, let me know. Or obviously, if you're watching this, you can grab Casey's contact information and say I'm active with the chamber and I would like to know more about MPI's member benefit. Constant Contact is our last big cost-saving member benefit that we have on this list. So if you already use Constant Contact or if you're interested in it, it is a marketing tool. So our e-currents and newsletters go through Constant Contact. It manages your mailing list, your database. So they have a plan for chamber partners everywhere. You can save up to 25% on your Constant Contact subscription. So go to constantcontact.com/chamber member, and you can add it to your existing account, or we have some additional information on like tech support if you need to call someone, but you can sign up there and then get a discount on your plan because you're a member of the Bethany Fenwick Area Chamber. The last benefit we talk about are perks, member-to-member perks. So these are local cost savings. Yes, those other businesses that we listed are local or here in the state, but these are just other members who want to offer a discount to other members. So member-to-member perk, obviously it's one chamber member, like Heyman Creative promotional products saying, here's 10% off your first order with us, call for details. You can add a perk as a member at any point and change it and take it off the website at any point. There's a whole web page of perks, or this is a photo of a printout that we distribute in all of the renewal packets and new member packets. I will say, because they can be changed at any time, the website is always up to date because that's actively updating, where we have to change the printout manually. So definitely you can keep the printout on hand. It's good for a moment in time, but let us know, check the website, or if you have questions about a perk, you can do that online, or you can email me, like with anything. All right, so we've covered networking, advertising, and then now here we are, member benefits. Here we are for our big tourism events. I don't do a deep dive on these because that would take hours in itself, but there are sponsorship opportunities for every single one. You will see them in the weekly emails, in the newsletters, on socials ahead of each event. We're planning far in advance. Each of these signature events in the middle have their own website. So we call those microsites. You'll see their information on the Quiet Resorts and the Chamber website, but you can also go to fireandicede.com to find out about the Fire and Ice Festival. So we plan strategically here. Each event is recurring at the same time every year. So Fire and Ice, last weekend in January. That's what the photo is here. It's ice sculptures, it's bonfires, it's s'mores, it's a chili cook-off. It's all things winter fun in our quote unquote dead season here at the beach. And it's our biggest sponsored event and biggest partnership event. We've got 4 or 5 different host locations, ICE from and sponsors, like over 80 business sponsors. We're consistently raising about $40,000 for local nonprofits through one weekend in January. So all of our tourism events are built to fundraise. So you'll see different event beneficiaries, nonprofits in the membership. If anything is a paid option at one of these events, a lot of the programming is free, but if anything is paid, like the beer garden, you're buying drinks, sponsored by Beach Liquors at Fire and Ice, but it's raising money for BB Medical Foundation. So fun community festivals that are also charitable giving. The Ocean Bay Bike Tour and Coastal Cruise is the last weekend in April. That brings about 2,000 cyclists to the starting line in Bethany Beach. They bike different route lengths. It's not a race, it's just a ride, 10 miles up to 100, all around the Quiet Resorts towns. We've got sponsors. It's a big volunteer opportunity for us. So if you're not looking to sponsor, but you do want to be involved, we are always looking for volunteers. And that is the last weekend in April. Old Timers Day is the classic car show that we do in Selbyville, Father's Day weekend, right on Church Street, downtown Selbyville. And then Bethany Beach Boardwalk Arts Festival is always the weekend after Labor Day on the bandstand and the boardwalk and the side streets in downtown Bethany Beach. Different from their craft show. This is a juried art show. It is, like I said, that Saturday after Labor Day. It's a one-day show. And we do have over 100 artists over multiple mediums get juried in, sponsorship opportunities, a few thousand people come for the day. It's a really great show, and it's still usually pretty warm at the beach, so it's a beautiful day to get out and buy or see some local art. If you're interested in sponsorship opportunities or more information on the promotional timeframes for each of those events, that is in the promotions catalog, which I'll show you when I jump off these slides. Also, throughout the year, we do some smaller community events that are still bigger than our regular networking events. So we do a First Responder Awards ceremony, the Joshua M. Freeman First Responder Awards in February. That's a luncheon. We do an annual Lifeguard Awards in August. And then you'll see around Earth Day, we do some cleanup, some area cleanup, like cleaning the roadways and the waterways. And then multiple different shop local initiatives. So if you're here in, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, we have Shop Local Extravaganza and Weekend Wonderland in Bethany Beach, trying to drive people to shop, dine, stay, and play at our member businesses. Or in the spring, obviously, we have Spring Fling, which is that same like spring break, Earth Day time frame, where if you shop at a participating business, you get a raffle ticket and then you could win prizes. So you have something going on all the time. If you're interested in any avenue of participation, you can obviously let me know and I'll get you in touch with Alyssa, or you can talk to Alyssa directly at events@thequietresorts.com. But that's most of my spiel. I'm going to just quickly show you that promotions catalog on our website and some other big things that you can find. This is a little snippet of that. But if you go here to our promotions catalog directly, it's linked right on the chamber site. So I've come to bethany-fenwick.org, and the promotions catalog is this button right on the front. And then here we are. So 2026 is already online. If you want to know what you're getting into, obviously table of contents, information on membership rates, but an overview of member benefits that we just talked about here, print and digital marketing, so the pricing for the newsletter ads and email blasts, banner ads on our website, more, and then the print and digital for print for the Discover Guide is in here as well. It's pretty robust. If you scroll through, you're going to get an overview of each of the signature events and their logos and branding and promotional time frame. And then we end with networking events and opportunities. This calendar of events for the year, what we host when, and then the back of this packet does include our branding. So there's lots of information online. Thank you for watching this video if you made it through the entire recording. Definitely, if you can, come to a Membership 201 in person, or we will have that recorded as well. We recommend it. But if you need anything, like I said, my name is Emily. You can come to me for anything. I am at membership@thequietresorts.com, and I'm happy to help if you have questions or if you're looking to join.